Welcome to CBS Easy.
All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to your high-speed explainer on forest and wildlife resources. If you've got exams on the horizon, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down everything you need to know to absolutely crush this chapter. Okay, let's jump in.
I want you to look at this number, 1,827. What do you think it is? Well, that was the official number of tigers left in India in 1973. Think about that. Down from an estimated 55,000. It's a shocking drop, and honestly, it's the wake-up call that gets this whole story started.
But you know that scary number for tigers? It's really just a symptom of a much bigger issue. To really get what's going on, we have to zoom out and look at the whole picture. India's incredible biodiversity and why so much of it is in trouble.
Just take a look. India is, without a doubt, one of the richest places on the entire planet when it comes to biological diversity. We have so much natural wealth. But here's the problem. All of these vital resources are under enormous stress, and a lot of that, frankly, comes down to our own insensitivity to the environment around us. So, this all leads to the most important question of all, one you are almost guaranteed to see on your exam. Why do we even need to conserve? Why does it matter so much? Let's break down the answer.
So first, let's nail down this key term, biodiversity. Put simply, it's just the variety of all life on Earth. But it's so much more than just a list of cool plants and animals. It's the very foundation of a healthy planet. In fact, it's our life support system.
And that's the bottom line. Conservation isn't really about saving cute animals. It's about saving ourselves. When we conserve, we're protecting the whole web of life that gives us the basics. The water we drink, the air we breathe, the soil that grows our food. We're protecting genetic diversity so our crops and fisheries can survive and adapt. It's not just a nice idea, it's an absolute necessity.
Okay, so if the problem is that serious, what's being done about it? Let's take a look at the official government playbook, the strategies for managing and protecting these resources. And whoa, stop right there. See this? This is a massive hint for your exams. The next thing we're talking about, forest classification, is a guaranteed topic. So you might want to pay very close attention to this next part.
Okay, so the government basically sorts forests into three buckets. First, you've got reserved forests. These are the big ones, more than half of all our forest land, and they're seen as the most valuable. Next are protected forests, which make up almost a third of the area, and are, well, protected from being depleted any further. And finally, everything else falls under unclassed forests. Think wastelands owned by the government or even private individuals.
So let's lock that in right now with a quick question from a past paper. How would you arrange these from largest to smallest? Just think about the numbers we just said. Reserved is over 50%, protected is about a third, which means the right order has to be reserved, then protected, then unclassed. If you said B, you nailed it.
And of course, you can't talk about government action without bringing up Project Tiger. Launched back in 1973, right after we got that terrifyingly low number, it quickly became one of the most famous conservation campaigns anywhere in the world.
But here's the thing. Government action is only half the story. Some of the most amazing, most successful conservation efforts didn't come from a government office. They came from the people themselves. Let's talk about the incredible role that local communities play.
And here's a little secret for you, a real topper's tip. When you're writing your answers, if you can mention specific community movements by name, it just shows the examiner that you really know your stuff. It's how you get those extra marks that make all the difference.
For instance, you could talk about the legendary Chipko movement, where villagers in the Himalayas literally hugged trees to prevent them from being cut down. Or the villagers in Alwar, Rajasthan, who didn't wait for anyone. They just created their own 1,200-hectare sanctuary. And then there's the Bij Bachao Andolan, where farmers fought to preserve traditional seeds. These are real, powerful examples of people power.
And this kind of community protection often has roots that go way, way back. A perfect example is the tradition of sacred groves. This is an ancient tribal belief where nature is worshipped, and as a result, entire patches of forest have been preserved, totally untouched, as something sacred.
And you see these beliefs all over. The Bishnoi community in Rajasthan is famous for protecting wildlife like it's part of their own family. In Chota Nagpur, the Munda and Santal tribes consider the Mahua and Kadamba trees sacred, and in Odisha and Bihar, tamarind and mango trees are actually worshipped during weddings. See, this is conservation that's literally woven into the culture.
Okay, take a deep breath. We have covered a ton of ground. So it's time for a super high-energy 60-second rapid recap of the most important points. You ready? Let's go.
First up, the big ideas. Biodiversity, all the variety of life. Conservation, it's all about protecting our life support systems, air, water, and soil. And that key number that started it all, 1,827 tigers in 1973.
Next, those 3 forest types. Reserved, that's the big one, over half the area, the most valuable. Protected, about a third, safe from more damage. And unclassed, everything else. Got it? Good.
And finally, our community champions. Remember the Chipko movement for fighting deforestation? The Biodiversity Sanctuary, the incredible People's Sanctuary, and sacred groves, those forests protected by belief itself.
So if there's one single lesson to pull from all of this, it's this right here. Real, lasting conservation can't just be a policy from the top down. It absolutely has to involve local communities.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. You've got the knowledge now, you understand the stakes, so what are you going to do with it? How can you, as a student, be part of the solution right where you live in your own community? Something to think about. Good luck on your exams.
Thank you for watching with us. See you next time.